We begin with breaking news out of Iran, where officials are saying that at least 73 people have been killed in 2 explosions during a ceremony honouring the slain Iranian general Qassem Soleimani. The blast struck as hundreds of people gathered near his gravesite in the central city of Kerman. Another 170 people were injured. State media are quoting an Iranian official who's described it as a terrorist attack. Tuesday marks 4 years since the top general was killed by a US drone attack near the airport in Baghdad. Let's speak to Mostafa Khoshcheshm. He's an Iranian political analyst who has worked for the Iranian Foreign Ministry's International Relations Faculty, and he joins us from Tehran. Mostafa, first of all, can you fill us in on what happened as far as you're aware?
Hello, and thanks for having me. Well, a couple of bombs detonated, actually, a few hundred yards away from the cemetery of the city of Kerman, just a few hundred yards away from the burial place of Iran's martyred general Soleimani. And on the path, people were moving to join the procession, the anniversary. There are people there, there are stations there by the people who distribute foods and drink and everything. And suddenly the first bomb, which was more powerful apparently, detonated, and a number of people were martyred as the rescue squad were rushing to the scene. The second bomb also exploded, killing more civilians who have rushed to the scene to help the wounded and the dead. And it has so far martyred over 73 people, almost all of them civilians, including at least 7-8 children. And also 171 have been wounded. So far, the numbers could be rising. But of course, there have been, as far as we know, and as far as it's been announced by the officials, we have not heard of any official or military casualties, because the police, the law enforcement, and others, they were stationed at the cemetery, at the gates of the cemetery, a few hundred yards away. And now the procession, the anniversary, moved ahead right away, and now as live cameras are showing from the cemetery, the anniversary continues very peacefully by the mourners.
Just tell us how important this ceremony is, this commemoration of the death of Soleimani.
It's highly important because, you know, when Lieutenant General Soleimani was martyred, he was given processions in different cities in Iran and Iraq. A number of 25 million people took part in that procession, the largest ever we heard on earth in the history. And people love him, adore him, admire him. There are pilgrims who go to his burial place every day. So it's highly important. That makes the event more paramount and more important and more vital, because definitely this has been a major breach and a terrorist attack on Iranian civilians, which will not, be without a response. Definitely, Iran is very much sensitive to those that harm its security, and especially killing Iranian citizens has always been a red line. So, considering the events in the last 10 days, it seems that we should be waiting for Tehran's response to those in charge of these attacks.
We're just getting an update that now the death toll has risen to 81. That's 81 people killed in these 2 explosions. You say with some certainty that these were bombs, that they were remotely detonated. Indeed, in Iranian media, we're seeing reports that they were also remotely detonated. But do we know with any certainty that fact, or is that still speculation at this stage? And also, who do we think might be behind it?
Well, official reports have been silent about this. Investigations are underway by the Iranian intelligence ministry to clarify if there has been any suicide bombing or both have been remote bombs, but definitely at least one of them has been bomb attacks. But some of friends on the scene have been saying that they've seen two bags, and they are sure that the two have been bombs remotely exploded, but there is no official report about that. Also, about those culprits behind the crime, the terrorists, there has been no official report. Iran's interior minister is going to speak to the Iranian media in about a few minutes now. But my personal gathering is that this has been Israel, this has been Mossad. Definitely for me, it's completely clear, considering the events in the last 10 days. The terrorist attacks, they started in Damascus, then they in Beirut. Now in Iran, they have failed apparently to find dignitaries, officials, and militaries. That's their protocol, that's their program and plan always, that whenever they fail to do so, they go for the public in order to create a tragedy. Apparently, to me, it's completely clear that Netanyahu has failed in his war on Gaza, and he is empty-handed in front of the Zionists inside the occupied territories. His government is very much fragile and might collapse soon. And God knows that his political career will end up behind jails soon. So he, after this failure in Gaza, he's trying to, show that he has earned something at least. He wants to say probably to the Israelis that he has done some reprisal attacks in Beirut, in Damascus, and in Tehran. But at the same time, the strategic target seems to me to be escalating the tensions in the region. That has been what Netanyahu and his army and Mossad, they've been doing, moving heaven and earth in order to escalate the tensions since a few weeks ago, because they want to bring the United States and their European NATO backers into this conflict in order to escape this defeat and failure in Gaza, and in order to continue this war. So far, Tehran has shown reservations and self-restraint, but I do believe that after the martyrdom of General Razi last week, as well as today's event, which was a tragedy and killing Iranian citizens, a mass murder, there will be a response, definitely, and there will be dire costs for the Israelis.
Okay, Mostafa Khoshcheshm, thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us there from Tehran.